99% of photographers will never know what it felt like to load 8, 10, 20 sheets of 8x10 film, light a set for 3 hours, and fire the shutter knowing every single sheet of film had to be right. This has nothing to do with your talent. I mean, simply put, the job that made you do that is dead. Okay, let me just quickly go back to the Eaton's Christmas catalog, 1987. A silver tea service tray, pot, creamer, sugar bowl, the full set, polished to a mirror finish. And you know what a mirror does under studio lights, right? It shows you everything, every light, every stand. If you can see yourself in the reflection of the teapot, yeah, so can the client. 3 810s running on the floor. A couple of hours in, the art director has moved that one spoon 4 times. And I'm under the dark cloth, looking at the ground glass, upside down, backwards, making the final tweak before I slide the film in the holder, pull the dark slide, and commit. There's no screen, there's no histogram, there's no I'll fix it in post. I fire the shutter. That sheet of film is either right or it isn't. And if it isn't, I don't get to say, let me try that again. That day is gone. The art director's already looking at his watch. And that pressure, that specific physical can't breathe pressure, it wasn't a bug in the system. It was the point of the system. Right now, here's the thing. When people talk about what we lost when film died, they talk about the look, right? The grain, the latitude, slowing down, the way Portra renders skin tones. And I don't care about the look, I don't care about any of that. I'm talking about the consequence. The fact that there was nowhere to hide. You couldn't look at the back of the screen because there was no screen. You couldn't bracket 100 frames and pick the best one because film cost money. And the art director was standing right there with his arms folded. You couldn't composite your way out of a bad lighting decision 3 weeks later in post. You had to see it, really see it, before you tripped the shutter. And you had to do it all day, every day, for weeks, for years. There's absolutely nothing nostalgic about that. That's a crucible, or more accurately, it's a pressure cooker. The job wouldn't let you fake it, so it made you real. Ironically, fast forward to today. The gear that removed the consequence, the screen, the sensor, the unlimited frames, the post-production safety net, that is the same gear that removed the thing that used to build the photographer. And I'm not blaming the young photographers, I'm not. They didn't take the consequence away. The industry did, the manufacturers did, the software companies did. I only hold contempt for the situation, never the person or the companies. Because I've met too many young shooters with good eyes, real instincts, who got handed a camera that does half the seeing for them. And nobody ever tells them what is missing. So here's what's actually missing. Automation executes. It doesn't forge. The screen tells you what you've got. It doesn't tell you what you could have seen if you'd looked harder. The sensor captures more dynamic range than film ever did. And that's the problem. It's way too forgiving. It lets you be sloppy in ways the 810 transparency never would have. I used to have to light with my eyes and a Polaroid back. 1 test, max, maybe 2. Then you committed. Now the screen lights it for you. I used to have to know the film's reciprocity failure, like it was a sixth sense, because a 30-second exposure behaves very differently from a 2-second exposure or a 1-second exposure, and the colors shifted with it. Now the sensor doesn't care. I used to have to actually decide where the focus plane fell, because depth of field on 810 and f11, it's about the thickness of a dime. Now the autofocus decides. The gear got better, and somewhere in that getting better, the part of the job that built the photographer got quietly removed. But this isn't a eulogy for film. Actually, it's not even about film. The reason the crucible had impact isn't discipline for its own sake. It's when there's no hiding, no screen to check, no bracket to fall back on, no post-production escape hatch. The only thing left to put into the frame is you. You, your eyes, your decisions, your taste, everything you've ever looked at, everything you've ever felt, everything you are, it all ends up in that one frame because there's literally nothing else to put there. That's the soul. That's the difference between operating a camera and making an image that has an impact in the world. See, the gear that removed the consequence also removed the invitation. The invitation to bring all of who you are into the work, because the work gave you no other choice. So I'm going to tell you about the shoot that broke that open for me. The one where the pressure forced something out of me I didn't know was there. But first, tell me about yours. What's the moment in your own life, photography or not, where not being able to fake it made you real? Tell me about it in the comments. I'm Ferdinand, and welcome to the wrong side of the camera.